Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham, and coming up on today's show, a brand new Bears mock draft. Chicago currently has 8 picks in the 2022 NFL Draft, and I said, you know what? Let's cook up another one after another loss because this will obviously be a big draft for the Chicago Bears this year. So help us out. Let's get there and let's make this happen. By the way, today's show presented by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Go hire the right people. The Bears are going to look to hire the right people in this upcoming draft. You can do the same with LinkedIn Talent Solutions, linkedin.com/NFL Daily. Code NFL Daily to post your job posting for free. Be like Chat Sports. You hire good people, you're going to grow your company. It's a really good deal. Biggest needs for this team this year, the offensive line, or next year I should say, offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker. You could go beyond. I mean, there's a lot of roster needs for this football team, so a lot of positions that Ryan Poles can take a look at. The good news when you have a lot of needs, that means that you can be flexible on what position you draft. All right, let's get into our mock draft, and yes, I see the super chats, which means if you're watching live, a lot of shots are about to be taken. Myles Murphy, round 1, pick number 6, the edge rusher out of Clemson. Myles Murphy, who's rising up draft boards, having a good season for the Tigers, 31 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. This defensive line needs work. I mean, you tell me, you look at this group, who is like a for sure legit piece for the future? Justin Jones will help next year. He's been pretty solid this year, but he's not a number 1 defensive tackle. You need to get better at DT. Edge is just a joke. I mean, this has got to be some of the worst edge groups in the NFL. The whole D-line needs work. I think Travis Gibson has taken a step back this year. I still think as a rotation guy, he's solid, but he's proven he is not a starter right now in the NFL. Dominic Robinson, same deal. He's only a rookie, though, so he deserves more time, but more of a rotation guy than a full-time starter. Al-Qadim Muhammad has sucked this year, so yeah, I mean, you got to get better up front. It's just as simple as that. Other players on the board when I selected Myles Murphy, tight end Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame, Ohio State offensive tackle Paris Johnson Jr., Noah Sewell, the linebacker out of Oregon, Jackson Smith and Jigba, the Ohio State receiver, and then Jordan Addison, the USC wide receiver. I opted to go with that front four. You need pass rush help desperately. One of the worst pass rushing units in the NFL belongs to the Chicago Bears. Now, what do you think is the Bears' biggest positional need? Is it defensive end, edge, if you will? Defensive tackle, offensive line, wide receiver. I mean, you could go in a lot of different directions. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Bears don't have their own second-round pick due to the Chase Claypool trade, but they have this one from the Baltimore Ravens. Cedric Tillman, the wide receiver out of Tennessee. These were his 2021 stats as he had 64 catches for 1,081 yards and 12 touchdowns, averaged 17 yards per catch. This year he had a high ankle sprain where he needed a surgery, has missed some times, and 5 games, 336 yards and a touchdown. Hasn't been bad by any means, but obviously just now starting to work his way back from injury, so he's got to, continue to make his way back, but I still like him as a player. I don't know if he's a true, future number 1, but he was really good his junior year, and, this year had he not gotten hurt in that Tennessee offense, I think he would have put up crazy numbers. And for those saying, not another Tennessee receiver, we tried that with Velus. Well, Velus, first of all, only played 1 year at Tennessee, transferred from USC, and number 2, much more of a gadget guy. This is a pure wide receiver, Cedric Tillman. Good size, good explosiveness. You need more here beyond Mooney and Claypool. I think we all know that. So whether it's round 1, round 2, free agency, what have you, and the free agent group isn't great, you're going to have to add at receiver, and I think a guy like Cedric Tillman could certainly help you do just that. Other players that were on the board when I made this position: Darnell Washington, the Georgia tight end; Ivan Pace Jr., the Cincinnati linebacker; Ricky Stromberg, center out of Arkansas. Keep an eye on him. He's moving up draft boards. UCLA running back Zach Charbonnet, and then Tyler Davis, the defensive tackle out of Clemson. All were available when I made this selection of Cedric Tillman. Now, before we get to our next pick when it comes to this mock draft, Bears are going to be hiring people in the draft and in free agency. You got to be hiring the right people as well. And these days, new potential hires, it can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. We've been there with Chat Sports. You know, there was a time when we didn't know we were going to make it, but we hired good people thanks to LinkedIn Talent Solutions. They're going to help you find the right people. You want to be 100% sure that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That is linkedin.com/NFL Daily. Code NFL Daily to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Like I said, when I first was working at Chat Sports, we had 6 employees. Now we're up above 20 because we hired qualified candidates. We found good people to interview. Luckily, we've hit on enough candidates thanks to LinkedIn Talent Solutions. That link and promo code will be in the description of this video. All right, round 3, pick number 67. Ricky Stromberg still on the board, the center out of Arkansas. Just plays with the tenacity that I think that Ryan Poles will like as an offensive line evaluator. Let's be honest, the Lucas Patrick situation just has not panned out. It is, you know, he's played 2 series this year at center. That's it. It's been Sam Mustipher, who I give him credit. You know, he's taken a lot of heat from fans and media, and, you know, I think he's played a little better as of late, but I think we can all agree he's a backup. He's not a full-time starter. A guy like Stromberg, I think, could come in and start as a rookie. Am I saying he's going to be an all-pro? No. You bring him in, he starts. Mustipher or Patrick can be the backup. I don't really care who it is at this point, but I just don't think, unless Patrick gets healthy and balls out the rest of the season, that you can go into next year thinking he's for sure going to be your guy at that center position. Other players available: Ivan Pace still on the board, Zach Charbonnet as well, Florida State edge Jared Verse, Damani Richardson, the safety out of Texas A&M, Travius Hodges-Tomlinson, the nephew of LaDainian Tomlinson, the corner out of TCU. All right, before we get to day 3 picks on this mock, do you want more Bears draft videos? If you do, let me know in the comments, but also just subscribe. If you subscribe on this video, I will know that you want more Bears draft coverage. So hit the subscribe button. We will have you covered here on Chicago Bears Now. And if you want more draft videos, be sure to let us know. All right, 5 more picks to go in the 4th round. Pick number 102, Mekhi Garner, the cornerback out of LSU, transferred from the University of Louisiana, has good size, has versatility. I think he could play some nickel if you needed him to, could play some safety if you needed him to, can be an outside corner. I like what he's been able to do at the Power 5 level. His tape flashed at the University of Louisiana, transfers to the SEC, and has held his own at LSU this year. I'm not going to sit here and say this is Patrick Peterson, but he's played some pretty good football. And if you look at corner right now, you know, there's questions. I like Jalen Johnson, but he's been hurt as of late, hasn't played as well, obviously. Kendall Vilder's been a little bit banged up. I think while he's been better this year, there's still question marks if he's a long-term piece. Obviously, they're going to invest in Kyler Gordon. They spent a 2nd-round pick on him, so he's going to be here. But I think this is kind of a sneaky position to watch this offseason. They got to get better at corner, and while I think Jalen will be here next year, is he going to get a contract extension? I don't know. That may not be a long-term piece. Kendall Vilder, even less of a guarantee on what that's going to look like. So don't be surprised if the Bears invest in corner. Oh, you guys are going to like this one. Round 4, pick number 131, Chase Brown, the running back out of the University of Illinois. And he's legitimately been one of the best backs in the country this year. He has carried the Fighting Illini's offense with 280 carries, over 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, an average of 5.2, which is pretty damn good when teams know you're running it more often than not. And, hey, we don't know what the Bears are going to do long-term with David Montgomery. He's a free agent after this year. If he walks, I would love to draft Chase Brown in, like, the 4th round. I think that's good value for him. You know, he can be a guy that can help carry the load along with Khalil Herbert next season. So keep an eye on Chase Brown. I think that would be an interesting guy to pick up. Now, pick an option. Would you rather pay David Montgomery, type P for pay him, or let him go and draft Chase Brown, type D if you'd rather go that route? P for pay Monty, D for draft Chase Brown. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. few more guys here. We go back to the offensive line. Blake Freeland, the offensive tackle out of BYU, 6'8", 305 pounds, so he could still add some to that frame, but he's long and decently agile, which we know Ryan Poles values with his offensive linemen. I kind of view this as like a, hey, come compete with Larry Borom to be a swing tackle or maybe the right tackle, depending on what positions the Bears invested on the offensive line in the draft and free agency. I don't know if he'd be a day one starter, but I think he could compete for a swing tackle type of job. And, Larry Borom, he's got a lot to prove still, too. There's a reason Riley Reef has been starting recently because Borom's been kind of just average at best at that right tackle spot. Couple more picks here. Jermaine Burton, the wide receiver out of Alabama, who entered the season with a decent amount of height, but hasn't really lived up to it. Last year, averaged 19 yards a catch for Bama as kind of a secondary option in that offense, and with them losing a couple guys, John Mekhi and Jamison Williams to the NFL, this was the year Burton was supposed to take off, and he's just been okay for Alabama. He hasn't taken a big leap, but he's got some talent. If he's there on day 3, I think that's pretty good value for a guy coming into the season that most people thought would be a day 2 pick. If he's there in the 5th round, I think it's pretty good to add a receiver of that caliber. Now, do you think offensive line or wide receiver is a bigger need? If you think it's O-line, type OL. If you think it's receiver, type WR. I think both are needs. I don't think there's any doubt. But if you think one is bigger than the other, let me know which one. All right, Gabe Hall, no 6th-round pick right now. 7th-round pick number 199 out of Baylor. Defensive tackle, 290 pounds, so he could be kind of a 3-tech guy. Maybe could kick outside on certain downs as well. He's been productive the last 2 years as an interior guy down there in the Big 12. 46 tackles, 11.5 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. I like his ability to rush the passer as an interior guy, has a forced fumble. I think as a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, he could be a rotation piece. I'm not sitting here saying he's a starting 3-tech or something like that. But again, you get into the 6th, 7th round of the draft, pretty much, any value, any contributions are good at that point in the draft because more often than not, those guys don't end up being contributors at all. All right, so there you go. My latest Bears mock draft for 2023. Myles Murphy, the edge out of Clemson, goes in round 1, number 6 overall to the Bears. Then I go receiver, Cedric Tillman, number 58 overall out of Tennessee. He's been banged up this year, but I still like the talent. Ricky Stromberg, center out of Arkansas, early in the 3rd round, pick number 67. Those are the day 1 and day 2 picks. Then day 3, Mekhi Garner, LSU corner, pick 102 in the 4th round. Chase Brown, round 4, pick number 131, the back out of Illinois. Blake Freeland, BYU offensive tackle. I get him in the 5th round. Same as Jermaine Burton, the Alabama receiver. And then no 6th-round pick, Baylor defensive tackle Gabe Hall. I snag him early in the 7th round, late in the draft. So there you go. Rate my Bears mock draft on a scale of 1 to 100. 1 being, it sucks. It's the worst mock you've ever seen. 100 being, hey, I'd sign up for that draft every single day. Obviously, a 90 plus is an A, a 80 plus is a B, yada, yada, yada. So let me know how you guys felt about it down in the comments.